Welcome again, welcome. Our final reading for today, and we have a very special guest from England. So there was a time that a captain went over with his ships to England, and he entered the Thames, and he brought the English people on their knees and stole half England away. So that time was a long time ago. Now the English are coming, taking our freight away, and they do that with a new barge they are building with. And Faye is from this company who does it, and she's telling us everything about it.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm Faye. I'm Director of Raybel Charters. We're a maritime heritage organisation based in London and also Kent. We operate the Thames effectively. I've also engaged with a lot of research with National Historic Ships. Also do heritage consultancy, and recently been appointed on the board member of Fairman's Collective, which we'll go into detail in a short while. And I'll also bring Peggy up just to do an introductory and sort of talk about that in more detail. I'm just going to sort of break it down a little bit because Raybel Charters, it's quite a multifaceted, varied organisation. So yeah, just to make it a little bit more easy to digest. But we are heritage preservation, we do community engagement, and we also do the sail cargo, which is a nice, juicy, exciting bit at the end. So yeah, we were formulated in 2018 with the aim of restoring a 1920s Thames sailing barge, and also wanted to make heritage very accessible to all. We are a board of directors. We also have a wider community of shipwrights, sailors, artists. We have ecologists, historians, and so much more. We're part business, part campaign, part arts projects, and we're born to inspire and create change towards a climate conscious and socially just system of trade. That's a bit of a mouthful. And our work is based around the themes of water, trade, transport, nature, and heritage of people. So we work collaboratively, creatively, and also on a global scale with our sail cargo partners. Just at the bottom there as well, we've got the heritage community, sustainability and sail cargo. Our values are really rooted in those elements. So when we are making decisions, we always fall back onto those. So just give you a bit of background context about Raybel. So she is a Thames sailing barge, originally built in 1920. She was built in Sittingbourne, which is just outside of London. I'd say about a 50-minute train ride. Originally, she was built to transport bricks in Kent and then transport those bricks into London. She was then used to transport rubbish from London all the way back into Kent. So we almost had this circular economy system in place where the material would then be reutilised into the bricks. So she had quite a fruitful existence. She was a motor barge at one point. She used to obviously transport grain as well as other building materials. And then in 1970, around the 70s, she was taken on as a family vessel, who re-rigged her and then turned her back into a sailing barge. And then, yeah, the family used to use Raybel as an entertainment barge up until 2016, and that's when we took on Raybel in 2018. We actually bought her for £1. I was actually doing this presentation in Oslo the other week, so I was just cheating and reutilising this presentation, but that just gives you a bit of an idea around vessel design to location. So obviously with the Thames barges, flat bottom vessels can get up the estuary, so very, very broad, heavy duty vessels, and they carry up to 170 tonnes. So talking about the heritage preservation, tradition and sustainability with the project, we wanted to return Raybel back to Sittingbourne just to access the original community or have access to the community. For us, it was really important to be able to tell that narrative and for people to have a sense of pride and place in where they live, and obviously Raybel being the heritage hook for that. We're the third custodians of Raybel, which is fantastic because we've managed to get so much information around Raybel, around oral histories, images, books, working with different historians. So we've had a really extensive input into the backstory and the trading documents. The training documents actually came from the Newfoundland archive, which is quite interesting. We have built up the right team of shipwrights, project managers, volunteers, and then crafts and tradespeople. Throughout this process, we've really tried to apply antiquarian principles, so like for like, looking at traditional techniques, how we can revive traditional techniques, also looking at around the more contemporary ways of using those techniques as well, but always having to assess the cost versus the authenticity, because funding is a big issue in the UK. Obviously lots of cataloguing with the Society of Sailing Barges. We also looked at material certification. One of our fantastic directors, she works in policy with the FSC. So it's really important for us to be able to use the traceability of those materials, what's coming in, what's going out, and obviously trying to inspire other Thames barge custodians to make those same conscious decisions where their materials are coming from. Reuse, obviously looking at carbon savings, what could we reuse on Raybel, looking at decommissioned barges, deploying any unused material into the Lloyd's Wharf regeneration, which I'll go into in a short while. Looking into selling or donating any of the materials for the projects, and obviously looking at sustainable decisions, particularly around flat sails, sail dressings, so looking at traditional methods of dressing sails, as opposed to using bronze seal fence paint, which a lot of barges do, and then obviously looking at linseed and solar propulsion and so forth. So just a few examples of the sort of community that we're working with. We're very lucky, we've got a very enthusiastic bunch of volunteers, probably 15 all in all. Every Monday we come down, every Monday and Tuesday. Ex-marine engineers, very, very skilled individuals indeed. So this just gives you an idea of the types of stakeholders that are involved in the restoration. Obviously we have the shipwrights, the local community. There are various funders involved with that. We obviously have Women in Boat Building as well, which is a really fantastic networking organisation in the UK, but also work internationally to try and empower more women in boat building. We've also had this Society of Sailing Barge Research as well, which are quite an old school outlet. So for us, it's quite interesting to be more a contemporary, progressive organisation working with the traditional organisations and really sort of respecting, the ways of working. So I guess for us, there's community involvement was a really big thing. Obviously, restoring Raybel to become a sail cargo vessel is very important, and there's a lot of hype around the vessels. But for us, really trying to empower the communities involved. And I guess there's very few boat restorations that work within a community-led model. Obviously, Raybel is in England. We have Havila in Denmark, and obviously Sabre in Costa Rica. So these are kind of key examples of organisations that are utilising more community to get on board and to empower throughout the whole restoration process. This just gives you a bit of an idea of the types of work that we're doing. I think with heritage, it can be geared very much towards a certain demographic. So for us, it's very important to try and inspire younger generations to come through. We also work with a lot of artists to try and recontextualise heritage, make it fun, make it engaging. So we did a lot of work around environmental sort of art, as well as historical art, education in schools and universities. We have an exhibition that is evolving. We've got the community involved in that as well. And then we did certain projects which are much larger, partnership projects working with the Arts Council and a lot of heritage projects, and also Science Citizens. So it's really nice to align with other partners within the Fairwinds Collective that are doing a similar job with Science Citizen. Just a little example of some artwork at the Kids of Building. So these were our bigger projects, Changing Tides. So we were working with Estuary Festival, and this is all about the empowering communities along the Thames Estuary. We get local musicians on board, just to co-create some really exciting provision on the barge. Also, just to see how the barge kind of fares. It's quite interestingly because we had a lot of heritage heads that were very traditional heads that were very interested by Raybel, almost heritage as a hook. And once we get on there, they just hit with a really experimental explosion of creativity, not quite knowing what to do. Some of them were a little bit bewildered, but it was a really fun example of how heritage can really play a key part of encouraging people in and utilising these ships as a really fantastic cultural venue. Revealing the Creek as well, that was a wonderful project in London that we were leading. We actually did a performance on the Cutty Sark, which is the very first performance that I've ever engaged with. But we did a whole series of environmental walks just to try and engage with the more environmental side of the project. So yeah, that was a really roaring success. So around skill development, we have boat building traineeships. So we worked with the women in boat building, and we had a group of really amazing women that built Arada. Artist mentorships, we did loads of work around welding with women and non-binary individuals, stone carving, natural building, oral history. So it's all about education and training as well. And here we've just got some examples of the Science Citizens projects that we're working with, and also working with key stakeholders along the Thames estuary, including local fishermen. So this is a little bit of a lockdown project. Obviously, when everything shut down, we're located in Lloyd's Wharf, which is a historic wharf. So we decided to put forward like a proposal of a whole regeneration framework around that. And it was very successful. So we were very lucky to get a nice sum of money from the local council, who supported us in developing a whole series of different activities on the wharf, but also starting to put the infrastructure side of things into place. So yeah, it's been great. We've been putting bird hides, we built a cob and clay pizza room with some young people, replanting, so we're doing a lot of more agroecology, sort of growing and stuff on site as well. And also with it being an intertidal community, eventually this area will be underwater. So for us, it's how we can start to educate people and raise awareness around the serious nature of this rising sea level. We've engaged in quite a lot of research around national historic ships and understanding the needs of the sector. So looking at, with funding in particular, it's looking at the historical benefits to that, or assessing by each ship, which was really interesting because, you know, there's so many more ships that have been registered in the high-risk register that require funding as well. We do consultation with other community vessels. I think we've just been a very good example around how we've utilising the funding effectively. So we do a lot of work around the Thames barges and other vessels that wanted to have access to funding for community engagement as well. And obviously we did some work with the Lloyds Foundation around the sail cargo and the Thames estuary, so assessing what the state of play is with sail cargo, and then bringing in key partners, interviewing them and just seeing what, you know, areas of the sector needs and how we can develop that. So I guess looking at revivalism, so we have traditional ships, we have the skills, we have historic wharfs, and also the traditional systems of trade, which leads us up to sail cargo. So yes, sail cargo, for those of you, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the concept. It's a modern movement, and it's emerged in the last decade in response to the climate emergency. And the need for shipping sector to reduce emissions. So the shipping industry carries up to 90% of everything traded around the world. Yet in 2018, the IMO didn't have a green gas strategy for the global merchant shipping sector at all. So its initial attempt wasn't compatible with the Paris Agreement. So a little factoid here. So with the cargo ships, 16 of these cargo ships create more pollution than the global car population. So that just puts things into context about the kind of pollution levels that we're dealing with. For us, and Peggy will probably go into detail about this in a short ways, around we can't compete with these guys. We don't want to compete with them. It's all about how we maintain the small and significant essence of this mission and what we're trying to achieve. Protecting the integrity of historic ships being one, and also focusing on the social and environmental impacts of what we're doing. So just to give you a little bit of an overview of the mode of transport and the CO2 emissions per 1 kilogram of cacao. So you can see here, the container ship is approximately 5 kilograms of CO2. We have the aeroplane, which is 16 kilograms of CO2, and we also have the sailing ship, which is 0. So yeah, it's non-comparable. So with sterile cargo, I guess the benefits, I mean, the obvious choice is around carbon saving, but for us, it's so much more than that. We're building a new and future purpose of surviving traditional ships. So utilising these old traditional ships for, sustainable gain. It provides new financial income for a lot of ship owners. So many of us that operate sterile cargo ships, we really struggle to utilise those ships just for sterile cargo. We do a lot of cultural, obviously, activity as well as charters as well. This is a nice example of bringing in additional revenue for those vessels which are struggling to maintain themselves. Sailing with purpose, we're all humans that like to have purpose. So I think for us it's looking at the assessing the environmental threats and connecting people to those as well. Obviously drastically reducing your carbon footprint. We're also supporting a lot of small scale and indigenous producers and farmers across the globe. They are impacted by global warming. They cause a minimal impact on the global warming, but obviously they're impacted the most. So for us, it's really important to shine a spotlight on those guys as well. Education around conscious consumerism. So whenever we all do work in schools and just trying to sort of shift that narrative and try to get to the core of consumerism, how we can empower people to make better decisions. And reviving heritage docks and wharfs and waterside locations. So a lot of the vessels that come in to one of our main harbours in Ramsgate, it's all about how we can revive those docks and try to sort of set up food markets. And there's quite a lot of help going on in Amsterdam at the moment with this. So it's really exciting, making a big spectacle and a big show. These traditional ships are coming in. And also connecting people to place and to history is very important. So around the storytelling, all around the memories and the narrative. We get so many people that come down to Lloyd's Wharf with their story, their grandfather, and it's really lovely. They'll come with their pictures in their pockets and, giving their story, and how to connect to the place is really, really magical. So this is just a slight example of trading routes that we have worked with in Raybel. Although Raybel hasn't she's just been restored actually, so she's been back out on the water since March this year, after a 4-year extensive restoration. But we've been utilising other vessels and bringing in key partners to be able to transport cargo. So the voyage of many voyages, we have generally used schooners to do the transatlantic voyages. They also do voyages to Portugal and to France. We cross-load onto the Thames barge in Ramsgate, which will be the likes of Raybel. Raybel will then transport cargo up the Thames, and what we've been recently doing is utilising the small canal boats along the London sort of canals, which is my job, so I like to skip at those, the little guys. It's lots of fun, and you can take that stacks of coffee right outside of the coffee roasters, and it's just quite a magical experience being able to. This has just come from Colombia, not just, it's taken a long time, but good things come to those who wait. So yes, producer spotlight is a big thing for us. There's so much excitement around the vessels and the pirates, and it's very romanticised and it's really wonderful, very energised. But for us, it's what about the producers? These are the guys that are very important here. We work with very small organic producers. Most of them don't have the capacity or the financial sort of ability to have fair trade certification or organic certification. But for us, that doesn't matter. We know the traceability of that product. We also ensure that the producers get the lion's share of the profit. So we reduce the supply chain, so farmer, ship to you. So effectively when we're handling these boxes off the ship, they're probably passed through 3 or 4 hands, which is really important for us to be able to tell that story. Consumers are more connected to the provenance of the product, and again, looking around the storytelling and the narrative. Something that's been quite interesting recently, my colleagues did a lot of work around this, is around just tread carefully around not trying to expose these Indigenous producers too much into like Western ideologies. You know, we all want to do the right thing, but it could obviously, you know, impinge that part of their community. So we need to work with the right co-ops and the right people. We also like to go out and visit the producers just to ensure that there's transparency and there's trust as well, which has happened before where we've been told something and when you get there it's completely different. So for us it's making sure that it's a viable source. So this leads me on to Fair Winds Collective. So Peggy, you're up.
Hey, thank you, Faye. And we got another one. Okay, I switch you on. Yeah. Sure. Hey, I'm Peggy. I'm one of the founders of Fair Winds Collective. Cosmo and I sat together in the Nautical College and we thought, okay, there needs to be a network. And so we started 2023. I started in the Nautical College to become an officer, so I'm sailing on board of these vessels as well. And we set up a network which means empowerment to them, and which means also exchange. We started with a hub in Enkhuizen, then we created another hub in Amsterdam, and we are becoming bigger and bigger. Now we are also creating a hub in London, and there's also one in Sicily. So this means networking around Europe, and we are growing step by step. We are visible on our website, and we've just pointed out that there is a fleet. We are part of Flotilla for Change in a way that our partner vessel Aventure is participating in this, so we have direct contact over there. Also our board member Hetty is at the Rainbow Warrior right now, captain. And it creates impact. We all know this story about maybe Flotilla Global Summit. They are not partners of us, but it creates visibility and it creates change. And that's what we are aiming for. So uniting all these partners to become visible for society in an educational aspect around Europe and worldwide. We also have upcoming partners in the US, also sailing, cargo, and having educational aspects. So this is just some examples who are partners with us. This also means the educational aspect starts with citizen science. So the ocean movement is a strong partner of us, and also SU. This comes later with the next slide. We gain knowledge by sharing our knowledge with each other, and we want to have an impact. So this means it's not just one ship, it's all of them who are sailing sustainable. And this means we are also creating a code of conduct right now. Code of conduct means sustainability, but also empowerment for female mariners, also consumption and awareness on board. But this also means having certain ethical topics, like how do we deal with each other? If we have troubles, then just come to Fair Winds Collective and we find a solution with you together, because we are sitting all literally in one boat, on one planet, and we need to find solutions. And this only happens if we are strong. This means there you see a Fair Winds Collective flag over there, and you might wonder there's one green and one blue. The green one is for the hubs ashore, and the blue one you see our ships equipped. So this means these partnerships already agreed on a certain code of conduct internally, but this will be published next year. So in December we hope to agree all of it on all of it. So
I think one thing that we logistics could be a nightmare with vessels and voyages. So I think one thing with the Fair Winds Collective is around how we can streamline logistics in a way, because there's multiple boats doing multiple trips, the same passages, but not having a full hold. So by collectively working together, how we can streamline the logistics, how we can make it more economically viable, was a really big thing, and something that we're working towards by creating a digital platform, effectively like a booking system that all partners can be involved with, and it just gives more transparency to the cause and to different vessels that are, utilising the boats to do those trips, even around charters, cargo. So it's going to be a growing system.
Yeah, and it's called Guild of Ships. Also, two of our Fair Winds Collective members are working in this project. So we have always an eye on how this develops because it's for the community. And this is a thing we are working on, and we are having monthly meetings with the sailing cargo ship owners, but also with other projects like the next slide will provide. So we published our magazine Set Sail with Purpose. Today you can get one for free. And thanks to the Nautical College for supporting us and providing us this possibility to have this printed layouts already. You can also download it online. And yeah, we invited SOUP to become partners shaping an ocean of possibilities. This means the GeoMar and the Helmholtz University in Germany have developed a little measurement system called the Planetoscope. And two of our partnerships will be already sailing with this. They are signing contracts right now this year and getting an educational program. And where did we start this? Of course, Sail Amsterdam. And next to us was Clipperstad Amsterdam. It was really nice and inspiring just to see all these ships gathering. And I was wondering, like, sustainability, what role does it play? And it's on us. We are playing this game right now. And we are setting sail with purpose. That's the name of the magazine. And set sail with purpose for your life. And this means it's every choice matters. It's, of course, it's a political act in the end, but all of us who are shaping this society. And I ask you kindly to rethink after this, what can I do better? Just one thing today you might want to change. You can talk, you can be active, you can write, you can read, you can share, you can sing, you can listen, you can dance, whatever is lies in you, you can knit. Anything, what you are doing can be in a way sustainable. So you're very welcome also to share these ideas afterwards. We are on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we are not a lot. We are not always updated one-to-one, but one-to-two. So maybe wait 1 or 2 days and you will find these projects visible also today, and also links to our partner projects.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Peggy and Faye, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And especially the last call is very important, I think. We just found a nice booklet in the Netherlands, which is called "This is Fascism," and this booklet is very strict on what is what are the what's threatening our society, our democratic society, and the conclusion of this book is also the same thing you just mentioned. Let's not be silent and talk about what you think about things and be active. So it's very taken from my heart what you said. Very, very good. Questions? Peter.
I always seem to be the first one, I think. Thank you very much, Faye, for your beautiful presentation. While you're both board members of Fair Winds Collective, I have this question. All the initiatives that you've shown and that you're partnering up with are, a lot of them are already up and running, but some of them are also still in the stage of preparation and more like longing to be up and running than really ready. How likely is the chance that you will also partner up with the bigger initiatives like TOWT, Neoliner, the Veer Group, and the one that I mentioned this morning in France, the new Captain Arctic cruise ship? Those are initiatives that also are already up and running, doing bigger cargo, but having exactly the same goals as what you have. What do you think about it?
Thank you very much for this question. We have been reaching out to them, and they were not so far responding yet. So we are waiting for their response. We want to team up, and we also want to talk about prices, cargo prices, ethical standards, what do we consume also on board, how do we treat also the ship as much as sustainable as possible. And yeah, we are waiting. So if you're listening right now and watching, this is your chance to team up and also show with your interest and strength that you are interested in uniting. Because this is the thing we can do on Earth, and sailing ships are messengers all around the world. So this means Oyster Ferries Collective Flag in the future.
Thank you. Another question. No one? Then the story was very clear.
Well, there we go.
Thank you very much, Faye and Peggy. That means that the program in this theater, With the Bruin Theater, is coming to an end after 3 days of a lot of talks and readings and presentations and discussions. And we learned a lot, and I hope you did too. So thank you very much for coming. You still have 1 hour to go on the boat show, and don't forget, when you go to the Tres Hombres for the break, you pass the community house, and into that house there is a lot of ships lying there to watch, and don't forget them. So thank you very much for coming, and see you next year.
Thank you so much, Stefan, also for introducing all the speakers and also leading the Q&A. I think it was wonderful. For the rest of you, please give us some time to clear up our stuff, bring it to the cars or whatever, and then we'll head over to the Tres Hombres. For the people who don't know what the Tres Hombres looks like, it's the wooden boat with new planking on the side. I think everybody knows, yeah? Okay, see you in a bit, yeah?
Thank you very much.